This program is funded in part by Mass Humanities.
These men I know, they're doing everything right. And now they're getting to all the right places, talking to all the right people. And those people, they're getting excited. Because our boys, they know their stuff. They're getting special access. And we're getting to go along for the ride.
John Quincy Adams actually references that when the Columbia does return, there's an account written by one of the officers, and that information eventually gets into the hands of the Mass Historical Society. In fact, many of the owners were charter members of the Mass Historical Society, so their artifacts that they received turn out to be part of the founding collection of the Mass Historical Society itself. You know, one of the reasons why we wanted to come here is because there's another model of this around that we've already filmed.
It's wonderfully romantic. I mean, this adventure. I mean, this is business, and people are serious about it. But there's a romance to this. There's also the adventure part of it. Is how many times, and I think this happens in the Columbia voyages, how many times people will sail on these long, multi-year voyages and return and be here, you know, the equivalent of 15 minutes before they're getting ready to go again.
Do you know where the other Columbia is, where I've seen it? It's actually a model about twice the size, and I hope you're not too disappointed. It's in the Marshfield McDonald's.
That's great!
Treacherous getting across Route 139.
Let's go inside of the Marshfield McDonald's. It's quite a find.
Once you get your picture taken there, Evan. Oh, you built that ship there, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, when I was a
Columbia?
I was just a young lad.
Yeah, you was a wee pilgrim.
He sailed on it, never mind built it.
Check it out. Pine, used for masts. Oak, used for the frames. This is the ribs, the structure of Columbia. This whole upland area was just covered with it, and that's what the Scituate shipbuilders, especially down at Hobart's Landing, used to build ships for 130 years or more before Columbia was even built in 1773.
It's the Bible of shipbuilding on the North River, and of course the most famous ship built on the river was the Columbia. So, and it was built at Hobart's Landing, which is, this is a good little map of it showing the location of it off of Neilgate Street in what's now Scituate, and a little bit north, or actually west, of Little's Bridge, or Route 3A. And let me see, Hobart's Landing was famous for over 200 years for building ships, from I think 1645 to the 1850s.
Hobart's Landing on the Scituate side of the North River was where they built Columbia. It's just over there. Nothing but residential houses now and a big open marsh. They would actually launch the ships on one side of the river and they go sliding across into the mud on the other side. Get stuck they'd have to dig them out. Nothing but a marker there now, just like most of Columbia. Very little evidence left.
Oh, Robert Gray.
Yar.
Robert Gray was the captain of the Lady Washington, which was the concert vessel, a small sloop that was to accompany the Columbia off to the northwest coast. He supposedly was a Revolutionary War lieutenant in the Navy. There wasn't any Navy at the time, and there's no record of him actually having served. He came from Rhode Island, as compared to most of the other people who came from Boston and Cape Cod. Rhode Island at the time was just outlawing the slave trade, and so there were a lot of people coming out of the slave trade and looking into getting other businesses. Sam Brown was one of the owners. He came from Rhode Island and spent a lot of money actually trying to get the repeal of slavery in Rhode Island re-repealed. There is a bit of a connection there.
So we came to the Essex Shipbuilding Museum here in Essex, Massachusetts. Supposedly this is the area that the Lady Washington sloop was built, maybe about 1740.
The original building down here in Essex started about 1650 or so, as best as anyone can guess. And just like in many places in America, when the colonists first arrived, they thought they were going to be farmers. Well, it didn't take long for them to realize that this tidal estuary is covered in salt marsh. What arable land there is strewn with boulders from the Ice Age. So what they did have for an ace in their sleeve is the fact that this area, especially the highlands above where the yard is now, was covered in white oak. And white oak is a very strong and durable wood, and it's still the #1 building material down here in Essex when we build a vessel. Before the Revolution, there were many sloops and small boats being built down here, including the type of design that made Essex, or what it used to be known, Chabaco, famous, the Chabaco boat.
Now, this is something that you gave me here, which is from a sloop off of Boston Light from from 1729. So this is just about maybe 10 years before maybe the Lady Washington was built. This was the tender to the ship Columbia, and the idea was that this would be able to get into places that the ship Columbia wouldn't be able to itself on the west coast.
It is now well known, and everybody's actually talking about it, is the experience of the Rhode Island maritime trade being involved in the slave trade. I don't think Captain Kendrick ever would have gotten into the slave trade. It didn't seem to be part of his makeup in his dealing with the natives on the Pacific Northwest coast. The attitude of Haswell's log, he was never on Kendrick's side, and you can't really trust anything he would have written. That is Captain Kendrick's cross to bear in American history. His actions were easy to misinterpret.
Let me tell you about how everybody digging my style. My walk, my talk, my flow, and the way I pick it out. I got millions of fans just watching how I flip this game. And when I'm walking down the street, I can hear you all screaming my name. I make the boys say, can I get your number?